Nick, we're back, and I think we're better than ever. How are you?
Absolutely. Ready to rock. Let's do this.
It is Neighbors. It is Nugent. I am Mike Neighbors. He is Nick Nugent. Football season is here, and we're going to break down a lot of pigskin coming up. But off the top, Nick and I, we disagree on a few things. I think we agree more than we disagree, but our disagreements make the podcast better. We got to start off with someone we deeply love and will deeply miss. Justin, our producer, can you give me a little Jimmy Buffett? Because when you think of Jimmy Buffett, I think if you did a little word association with his music, right? Is this off the kind of the top of his playlist for most?
I don't think so at all. I mean, I think that's an entry level song for an entry level fan. But I'll tell you what, I don't care how long you've loved them. I don't care how big of a fan anybody is. You hear that song, you get into a good mood. So love that song. Love Jimmy Buffett. I've been a fan of Buffett for probably 6 hours before I was born. They had it playing in the living room. I'm a huge Buffett fan. Been to maybe 19 or 20 concerts. Huge Parrot head. Sad day, but happy weekend because you get to talk about how much fun you had at his concerts when you listen to every single song like I did. So it is certainly bittersweet. Gone too soon.
Here's the thing about Jimmy Buffett. The guy's way too young at the age of 76. I don't know anybody really who, they may not love him, they may not even like him, but Nick, they don't dislike him. He's a guy that they love.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. If let's put it this way: if you don't like Jimmy Buffett, not if you're not a fan, but if you dislike Jimmy, not a lot of room for you in my life. Something's obviously wrong. You're probably some kind of sociopath. You certainly can't be trusted. But yeah, that's a good litmus test for a friendship for me. You got to at least be able to say, yeah, he's not bad. But any kind of dislike for Buffett, not going to work for me.
All right, well, we're going to lead off with Jimmy Buffett. Let's go to the menu, Justin. Break down if you like pop culture, if you like football. As always, Neighbors and Nugent give you a little bit of everything. Our four starters, kind of our appetizer, and ode to Jimmy Buffett. Now, Justin Thomas, our producer, is always honest, always candid. Not the biggest Buffett fan, so this will be more of a tribute. We're not going to agree or disagree, or maybe we'll kind of disagree on amongst ourselves on what the best Jimmy Buffett songs are. We're going to give you our top three. Then we go to football. We pivot. The heart of the order, our NFL picks. The season kicks off this week finally. What are our Super Bowl picks? Who's going to be the MVP? And who's going to be the surprise player in the National Football League? Our final five. I know a lot of you are into fantasy football. You have your drafts. Nick and I are going to do a draft. We'll bring Justin back in. He's going to do a coin flip and really judge who has the best draft. Then our last word. But I am not an entry-level Jimmy Buffett fan. I love Jimmy Buffett. I think I've talked about in this podcast. My best moment in television, the Saints go to the Super Bowl, win the NFC Championship game. Sean Payton has this white tent outside the locker room. I'm doing a post-game show. I got to dance a little bit. Jimmy Buffett, it was like, wake up, this is a dream. But no, it's not. He's walking out of the tent with the margarita, joins me live. That would have been enough. Sean Payton joins us, brings the NFC Championship trophy. I loved Buffett before, loved him even more
Amazing.
after that. But let's go to our top three Jimmy Buffett songs of all time in terms of how we feel about it, our favorites. I'll give you the floor first.
All right, I appreciate that. This is tough. The morning that it happened, I woke up, I had text messages from pretty much everyone I knew, giving me condolences about how my favorite is now gone. And my two best Parrot head buds, Mark Doobie and Matt Bartlett, we both quizzed each other during the day and said, by the time you go to bed tonight, you have to provide your top 10. Top 10. And my buddy Mark played by the rules, and he gave me his top 10. It was one of the more difficult things I've had to do. My buddy Matt Bartlett gave me about 27 songs, and I said, dude, you got to go to 10. He goes, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. He couldn't reduce from 27 to 10, but I will do my best here. There's so many. This is a very difficult one. My number three, I'm going to go with I Love the Now.
You start with three.
I'm going to start with three, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to start with number three here, and I'm going to go with I Love the Now. It's a great song. One of my favorite lyrics in any song ever. Don't worry about tomorrow tonight. Just live it now. I love the now. Great song. Number two for me is Trying to Reason with Hurricane Season. One, because it's hurricane season right now. But two, that's a song I used to sing to my kids as they were growing up, little babies. Great lyrics, nice, relaxing song. But number one is more of a fun song. It's called Mañana. I don't know if you've ever heard that song before, but Manana. It's just a fantastic song for at the end of the day, maybe having a nice little cigar or a drink and relaxing and thinking about how your day is going. So big fan. My top three, I Love the Now. Number two, Trying to Reason with Hurricane Season. And number one is Manana. What about you?
Do you think Parrot Heads smoke cigars? I'm just wondering.
I think from time to time they may partake, and at least during the tailgate, if not maybe once in a while.
All right, I don't know some of those, so I learned something co-hosting this with you, my friend. So I'm gonna drive home today. I'm gonna listen to all three, and I'll get back to you on that. I'm not gonna throw out Margaritaville. I'm not the entry level Jimmy Buffett fan. I'm not gonna go the easy do cheeseburger in paradise. But changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes has my favorite Jimmy Buffett lyric. If we wouldn't laugh, we would all go insane. And I love that line because I think that's very true. And to me, that's why people love Jimmy Buffett, is because he kind of makes you feel normal. Like we all go through problems in life and we have to get through them. So my number three, and you told me when we were prepping for this that I would not surprise you. I love the song Lucky Stars. Lucky Stars? You heard that one? Did I stump you on that?
No, definitely not. Great song. Sure.
Because I remember going through some changes in my career as a young man. And my dad, on the way home, we had dinner, a great dinner, and he played the Lucky Stars for me. And it basically put your life in perspective. I got a roof under my head. I got a great relationship with a significant other. A little gratitude from Jimmy Buffett. Lucky Stars, I'm a big fan of that song. Number two, it's a collaboration, so I think it's Jimmy Buffett, so I can use it. I love the License to Chill with he and Kenny Chesney. I think that's a great it's classic Jimmy Buffett. I'm a big Chesney fan too. I think Chesney's almost kind of carrying the torch. Nobody will be Jimmy Buffett again, but he's kind of along that same genre a little bit. But number one, because you're a doctor, you're Dr. Nugent, but you got a PhD in Jimmy Buffett too. I want to see how you feel about my number one. Pencil Thin Mustache is my favorite Jimmy Buffett song of all time. It's short, it's sweet, it's like the Elvis song. Every Elvis song is like 3.5 minutes. This is a short song. I love Pencil Thin Mustache, my favorite of all time.
You know what? That's a fantastic choice. You were already very high in my book, but that just bumped you up a little bit higher. That's a very great song. It's certainly one of his popular songs, but it's old school and it's fantastic. And it's the kind of Buffett song that I can get behind. Great choice. I think I support two of those three. Great job. Very good. Lucky Stars is a fantastic song. Great Buffett song. Fun storytelling. Very good. I like that. Nice
License to Chill. It didn't really get you excited about that one, did it?
No, it's a little bit. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay.
License to Chill, and I believe I will. All right, let's move on to the NFL and make that natural segue from Jimmy Buffett to football. We were going to have a guest this week. We have some great guests coming up, but it's the NFL, man. We got to dive in because we're going to replay this. In February, and I'm going to look like a genius. And Nick, I'm not sure how he's going to look. So let's jump at it. Who's going to be in the Super Bowl? You can kind of break down their path a little bit. Who is going to be the Super Bowl contending teams, and who's going to make it, and who's going to win it this year in the NFL?
That's good. I see a lot of new teams near the top, but also some tried and true AFC teams that will be there. Certainly the Bengals, the Jags. I think the Jaguars are going to have a fantastic year. I think it's impossible, as long as Mahomes is healthy, I think it's impossible to go against him and the Chiefs. But my pick for the AFC champ is the Jets, actually. I think the Jets are going to get it done. Absolutely. I think a lot of big things are happening. I think when you have a team that's as loose as they are right now, and I see this very similar to when Brady came to the Bucks.
Yeah,
a lot of doubters, but I see something happening with Rodgers. And then the NFC, I certainly think the Vikings are going to surprise some people. I know Bernthal is going to be happy to hear that.
Kiss up.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I don't need to.
That's our buddy Matt Berthel, who we teach with.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, he is a huge Vikings fan. I think the Cowboys are going to have a good year. I think they're going to do very, very well, win the division. And then it's hard to root against my boy Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. I think
you like Baker Mayfield.
I love Baker.
I love Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield show, man. I think he's going to get it done. And then I think the 49ers as well. I think the 49ers are also just as about as good.
My boy Brock Purdy on that team. I love Brock Purdy.
He's legit. And I think the Super Bowl is going to be Jets versus 49ers.
Oh.
And I think, as much as I hate the team and I despise the fans, not all the fans, but let's just say I could think of 4 fans that I despise personally with the Jets. I'm going to say the Jets will be your Super Bowl champion, with Aaron Rodgers bringing home the MVP, pulling a Tom Brady, let's say, his first year away from his homegrown team. So I know that's going to be kind of crazy. And then we also are going to talk
Well,
about.
wait. Don't jump to MVP yet, because I'm gonna give you. We'll go.
Well, I just did, but that's all right. We'll go back to it. Either way, go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the crazy
No,
thing.
go ahead.
We obviously didn't talk about this because I thought I'm going to be the sheet guy. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to pick the Jets in the AFC. And then Nugent steals my thunder and says it's going to be like Bucks 2.0 with Tom Brady. I agree. The Jets defense is great.
Yeah.
The supporting cast for the Jets is great. All they needed was a quarterback. Sound familiar? Like the Tampa Bay Bucks a few years ago, who broke my heart with the Saints, though, because of the Saints own the Bucks and then lost to Brady when it really mattered the most. I agree. I think Aaron Rodgers, what an upgrade. And that's exactly what they need, just like Tom Brady was an upgrade over Jameis Winston. So I agree with you. It's great that we don't really talk too much before these podcasts because you surprised me. But I think the Jets are going to win. And I think it's a crowded group of talent. When you talk about the AFC, I mean, Chiefs could be a great pick. Bengals with Burrow coming back. You look at, all the quarterbacks in the AFC. I think the Jaguars are going to have a pretty good year, too.
Awesome year. Absolutely.
So I think the Jets, but when the NFC is where we differ a little bit, I think, boy, you talk about how great the AFC is. We saw it last year. Not as good in the NFC. How many years did we look at the NFC and says, boy, they're good, and the AFC is kind of weak? The pendulum has switched a little bit. I really like the Philadelphia Eagles. They could have easily beaten the Kansas City Chiefs a year ago, despite Sports Illustrated, if you believe in the SI Jinx. I am not a believer. I think Jalen Hurts is the real deal. He's only going to get better. I think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles get to the Super Bowl. There's a lot of green. It's going to be a ton of storylines. I think the Eagles beat the Jets to win it all.
I think they would have if they did not put him on the cover. Unfortunately for him, he will blow out his knee walking down a hotel stairs or something like that. I'm not wishing that on him, of course. That's the jinx, man. You can't put yourself on there. I can't. His agent should be fired. No. You want to be in the Super Bowl? You want to be in the Sports Illustrated cover? No. That should be the answer. Yeah. Bad news.
All right, MVP. Back to MVP.
MVP, I'm going Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, for me, Aaron Rodgers, no question. I think I've always been a huge Aaron Rodgers fan. And I know, just like I probably got Matt Bernthal a little bit happy a few minutes ago, me saying Aaron Rodgers as an MVP is going to hurt him deeply and hurt him to the core. I think he's freewheeling, man. I think he's happy. I think he's loose. I think he's got zero pressure. He doesn't care. He's going to have nothing but fun. And I think that's very dangerous for opposing defenses. I think he is going to have an amazing old school Aaron Rodgers year.
I think it's what's crazy about Aaron Rodgers is, players inside the locker room get a kick out of perception a lot of times. Like, people think Aaron Rodgers is this guy that's on this island. Nobody really gets along with him. He's a prima donna. And there's probably some truth to that. He's definitely a different cat. But I think Hard Knocks helped Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was acting the whole time. Obviously, he knew the cameras were on, but they seemed to humanize Aaron Rodgers a little bit.
I agree.
Made me like him a little bit more, too. Yeah. I didn't know. It's funny. I learned things about Nick Nugent, though. I feel like I know you, and I wouldn't think that like a Baker Mayfield or an Aaron Rodgers would be your kind of guys.
Oh yeah, love it, love him, absolutely.
I love the swag of Baker Mayfield. I love Baker Mayfield's story. Kind of like Drew Brees, a guy that was in Austin, Texas, won a state title. Nobody wanted him out of high school. Then he kills it at Texas Tech. And then they don't really want him there. Then he goes to Oklahoma. I love anybody that grinds it like that. That's why Brock Purdy is my favorite quarterback. My MVP, though, I wanted to really go off the rails and do Trevor Lawrence because I really think he's going to have a huge year. I'm going to tell you a reason why coming up with my surprise. You got to get ready for your NFL surprise player. I'm going to go back to this guy. I don't care about Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated only comes monthly now, which breaks my heart. I remember as a kid, every week it was like a big moment for me, once a month. But Jalen Hurts just seems like that quarterback ready to take the next step. We've seen the progression of a lot of quarterbacks throughout the years. Mahomes, there's really nobody like him. He just accelerated to the top pretty quickly. I think Jalen Hurts is ready to be that MVP. Frankly, Nick, if he hadn't gotten hurt last year, he would have been the MVP last year, arguably. I think this is the year Jalen Hurts is the MVP.
I think you're probably right. I like that. That's good.
All right, surprise player in the NFL. Who do you have?
Let's you go. You lead it off.
All right, my surprise player. I'm in 2 fantasy leagues, which is kind of, I hate that sometimes because I really like the people in both, but then I find myself rooting against myself. It's kind of conflicting when you're in a couple fantasy leagues. But I didn't get this player in either one, and I think this guy's going to have a huge year. Is the wide receiver from Jacksonville via Atlanta, via sitting out last season because of gambling problems, Calvin Ridley. People forget how good this guy is. He's hungry. It was really kind of silly that he missed a year for gambling when let's look back 10 years from now and say, can you believe Calvin Ridley missed a whole season for this when we're going to see all the transgressions? I just feel like Calvin Ridley, people forgot how good he is, and he's in an offense now with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, a lot of young weapons. They're getting more confident. Doug Peterson has them comfortable in that system. Calvin Ridley is my surprise player this year.
I like it. My surprise player is out there. It's so out there.
Really?
He's not currently on an NFL roster. That's how out there it is.
What?
I'm going to go with a completely bizarre pick, and it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong because what does it matter?
By the way, the slice just went off.
Yeah, good Lord, man. I mean, if you don't like my idea, you can just go ahead and say you don't have to turn the lights out on me.
Right.
Come on.
I had to mention that. It would have been awkward if I just sat here in the dark. Anyway,
You know, I'm going to go with the guy who's currently announcing. Actually, I don't think he's done. I think he's healthy, and I think he's got a few years left in it. I'm going Matt Ryan. I'm telling you right now, a team is going to start 0-3. A team is going to start 0-3, and they're going to hate themselves.
Did he play last year?
Someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to need a quarterback. They're going to call up Matty Ice. They're going to get him on the field, and he won't make the playoffs, and he won't do anything like that, but he's going to give him some wins. He's going to give him a lot of yardage and some touchdowns and a lot of smiles. He's a good leader in the locker room. He's a great human being. I think Matty Ice is not done. I think he's going to come back. I think a team is going to pick him up, and he is going to be playing a little bit of football this year. That's what I think. And I also think he can do a great job announcing, but Matty Ice is not done.
All right, I can't wait to bring in the natural segue, which is Justin Thomas, the ultimate Atlanta Falcons hater. Justin, you're going to tell us who won in a little bit, but that was pardon the pun, an ice-cold take by my friend Nick Nugent. That is just brutal. I don't agree with that at all. I love Matt Ryan. Let me ask you this as we bring Justin in.
Yeah.
Nick, do you think Matt Ryan right now is a Hall of Famer?
Unfortunately, no. I think he should. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I think the numbers support it. I think as the years go on, Hall of Fame voters are fickle, and they like to vote against it because they want to be able to tell their story and get a little limelight. I think he deserves to be. I think his numbers are fantastic. I think if he had a quarterback, I think if he had a coach that knew how to call any kind of play at all over a 3-minute span, he would have a Super Bowl victory, which would have been a stamp of approval for the Hall of Fame. I think he should be. But unfortunately, I think he might not be.
Life is crazy in the NFL because Matt Ryan was MVP. Drew Brees was never an MVP in the NFL. Drew Brees
is wild.
A surefire Hall of Famer. And here's another thing. I'm not going to penalize a guy or reward him just because of no Super Bowls. Dan Marino is a good example of that. If Matt Ryan gets that Super Bowl, he's in. But you know what? It wasn't Matt Ryan's fault they didn't win that Super Bowl.
No. And anyone, that's why.
It's for either, you know?
Yeah, people are crazy. It's like you Matt Ryan would post something on his Twitter feed, or his wife would post something of his kids, and then you'd have a Patriots fan underneath say 28-3. And it's like, this guy's, obviously wildly successful. He's a fantastic human being, did a lot for the city of Atlanta. And because they didn't know how to play defense and they decided to start running the ball instead of running it up on the Patriots. It's just wild. I felt bad. And that came as a Patriots fan. I'm not even a Falcons fan. I just you just got to call it like it is. And he didn't lose that game. The coach did. So it's too bad.
I thought when you were setting up the Matt Ryan, you were going to go Tom Brady.
No. Tom Brady is done. I think we can go ahead and we can close that book. Unfortunately.
Oh, Ryan, that's a take. Justin Thomas, you with us? You coming back here?
I'm here.
All right. I don't want you to judge it yet, but our next segment is our final five, and we need you for this because what Nick and I are going to do, Nick, am I correct on this? We're going to pick a quarterback. We're going to pick a running back. It's shortened fantasy football draft. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, flex player, defense, and kicker in that order. How about that?
All right. We're going to go flex too?
Yeah, we'll go flex. Throw flex in there.
Did you mention tight end or no?
Yes.
No tight end?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't mention tight end, but we are doing tight end.
Let's not do flex. Let's just do tight end. Flex is for fantasy football. Let's just no flex, just tight end.
See, this is why we should have a show meeting. But you know what? We can roll on the fly here.
No, show meetings are lame. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can roll on the fly here. Okay, we got to flip a coin though. Okay,
all
because we're gonna do quarterback first. So a lot of pressure on Justin Thomas.
Yeah, but who's heads, who's tails?
Well, who's picking?
Yeah, Mike.
Who's the home team?
Someone's got to have a side.
Hey, let me get there. I know you're still in awe of my Jimmy Buffett top 3, but I'm going to have Nick Nugent call it in the air. How about that?
I love it. Fantastic.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go
You
ahead.
ready, Nick? You called it in the air.
Yeah.
All right.
Tails.
Tails? Heads.
Yes!
Heads it is.
Look, let me do this.
Yeah, that's about the only way you can say thank you. You win because of luck, not because of performance.
Luck.
I'll take it though. All right, quarterback. And Justin, you're going to judge us not by Jimmy Buffett because Nick classified you as an entry-level Jimmy Buffett fan. You will judge us on our NFL picks. I can't wait to hear your Matt Ryan take on Nick, but also on our fantasy team, okay? So I'm going to go quarterback. I'm going to go Mahomes. I mean, my team's already a winner right now. You got to go Pat Mahomes. I think you can make a case right now. You could make a case he's the best quarterback ever of all time. I think.
I don't think you'd be correct, but you can make a case for it. We talked about that earlier in the one of our early podcasts. He's just so good, and you want to hate him, but you just can't.
Right.
I mean, he's just he's just fantastic. There's nothing else to say. And I think every year he's like, I'm going to throw for 100 more yards instead, and he's going to keep on doing it. It's a great pick. I'm going to go Josh Allen. I think it's I think every year is a good year for Josh Allen, but I think a healthy Josh Allen is very dangerous. Plus, I think the Bills' window probably closing a little bit, and their fans are getting a little bit because they probably expected a little bit more out of Josh as these years go on. So I think it's going to be Josh being less of a team guy and more of a I need to produce. I need to run more. I need to score more. I need to throw the ball better. So yeah, big year for Josh Allen.
And Josh Allen and Mahomes, they seem like likable guys too. I mean, I don't pretend to know these guys, but they just seem like a guy you'd want to hang out with. All right, you get to go running back first.
All right, running back first. I'm going McCaffrey. I think it's a big year. I just think he gets it done.
Oh, did he just get hurt? No, he's still healthy. That's okay.
No, he's still healthy. You can in a couple of weeks. I'll probably have to say yes, he did get hurt again. But for right now, he's healthy, and I just think it's another one. I think he's got pressure on him. I think he's got something to prove. Mahomes, he's a stud. He's nothing to prove anymore. McCaffrey's got something to prove. He's going to try to get it done. He's going to push a little bit harder. I think good things are going to happen. Very comfortable with that pick. Who you got?
Justin, are you taking notes and
I'm taking notes.
Okay, that was a very good coin flip, by the way. You could have dropped the coin. You get one take on that, man. You nailed it. I like that.
I'm a professional, Mike.
You are a professional. I'm going to go off the radar with running back here. I don't trust McCaffrey, and I feel like the key when you draft guys, you got to look at the roster. There's a lot of talented players in the league, but they have too many other guys on the team who got to share the ball with. That's why, I covered the New Orleans Saints for years. I didn't think besides Breeze, you really want to draft many Saints receivers because they spread the wealth so much. I like players who are going to be the focal point of their offense. They're going to get a lot of touches, which equate to a lot of yards and potentially a lot of touchdowns. So I'm going to go back to Atlanta. Rookie Bijan Robinson out of Texas. I think he's going to get a lot of carries. He stays healthy. They need a running game in Atlanta. They've had running back by committee for a long time. He's going to have the chance to be kind of that bell cow back. So give me Bijan Robinson, who, unlike McCaffrey, will stay healthy the whole year.
Solid pick.
Wide receiver. Am I going first for this?
Yeah, you go first.
I love the wide receiver position because, to me, it's the most talented group. If you looked at – there's a lot of good young quarterbacks, but there's a lot of good young wide receivers in the NFL. So I guess quarterback may be the most because you have a lot of good young quarterbacks. But I got to go Justin Jefferson. It's amazing to me. I remember covering his older brother, Jordan Jefferson, at LSU when obviously Justin Jefferson is in elementary school. Justin Jefferson has become the number one draft pick for many fantasy leagues across the country. And I think it's because of what I said earlier. Now, you have other wide receivers who are good, but this is another reason I don't like McCaffrey. McCaffrey's got to share the ball with Deebo Samuel. He's got to share the ball with George Kittle. Justin Jefferson, can you really name other marquee players on the Minnesota Vikings? A, Justin Jefferson is great, but B, he's obviously going to get a lot of attention like Bijan Robinson. That's why I'm picking him.
You know, your reason for picking him is also the reason not to pick him. He is the guy. He's the guy. I also can't think of too many players that they're going to go to. So he's going to get double, triple teamed every single time. He's the threat. I think he's the best athlete. I think he's probably the best wide receiver. But if we're going a fantasy draft, I think he is going to be very annoyed at how little he gets to touch the ball. He's just an unbelievable athlete. But, man, I see a lot of passes being thrown a little bit too high to him, trying to get it between those two defenders. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. I think Tua is going to have a big year. Tyreek Hill, probably not the best role model out there on the planet, but if we're talking about fantasy points, I think he's going to get a lot of stuff done. Tua is really, really coming into his own. Feels good, throwing the ball very, very well. Plus, is a good connection. I think he's happy in Miami, and I think happy receivers are good receivers, and I think he's going to do some damage in fantasy football this year. I think he's going to outscore Justin Jefferson. Even if I had gone Pitt first, I would have picked Tyreek Hill over Justin Jefferson.
But you got Waddle. You got a lot of guys in Miami you got to share the ball with, my friend.
Exactly. That's okay. You're going to split it up a little bit. I get it.
All right, so I went with first wide receiver. We're going to go no flex, tight end. Who do you have?
Kelsey.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah, don't have to say anything else. I mean, that's just the luck of the draw. You get the first pick, but I really don't have to say anything. Just Kelsey. Done.
I could lose tight end with this pick. I won't pick him, but I'll give you a good dark horse fantasy crowd like you need my advice. But I got this feeling about Juwan Johnson in New Orleans. People talk about the Saints. He led the Saints in touchdown catches a year ago, and that was with a quarterback that Andy Dalton, who, let's just face it, it's not the best in the league. With Derek Carr, I really like Juwan Johnson, but I can't pull the trigger. The second best tight end in the NFL resides in Baltimore, and his name is Mark Andrews, and he's kind of an underrated guy. But, boy, he's super productive, especially the last couple of years. And with Lamar Jackson being back, and I think he has a little more help at wide receiver with Odell Beckham, and they have a pretty good core there. And then J.K. Dobbins. I like Andrews, but, Kelsey, you're going to beat me on that one. But let's go defense. Boy, you know what? I don't like the Dallas Cowboys, just like the reason I don't like the New York Yankees. But a lot of people will say that the Cowboys have the best defense, but I'm going to go 49ers because if you look at why the 49ers are going to be in the Super Bowl, according to Nick Nugent, it's not Brock Purdy, even though I love him. It's not Kittle. It's not Waddle. It's not McCaffrey. And, yeah, those are good reasons. It's that defense. So Bosa in the middle, they have built that team around defense, even though Kyle Shanahan's the head coach. John Lynch is a great general manager. Hall of Fame safety. Give me the Niners defense.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I mean, if I'm honest, I would have had them 49ers too. But if you're talking fantasy draft, you're not going to see too big of a difference between the Niners and the Cowboys.
Right,
they're the two best defenses in the league. I think the Cowboys are legit enough to pick the Cowboys. I also think the Jets are going to have a good one. I think the Eagles are going to have a good one. But I think at the end of the year, you look at rankings. I think you're going to have 49ers, Cowboys 1-2 with not a huge difference in points. I agree.
All right, finally, you get to go first on kicker, and I hope you don't pick the guy that I want to pick because I've done a lot of research on him, but I think you will. Go ahead.
All right, I'm all about points here, and I don't think the Ravens are going to have a very good year, so I'm going Butker for the Chiefs. I just think that he's going to get it done. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunity to kick the ball between the uprights, and that results in a heck of a lot of points. Maybe not as many field goals, but there are going to be a lot of extra points for the Chiefs this year, and he will be the one kicking them.
But you proved my point, though. The Chiefs rely on extra points. The Baltimore Ravens offense is going to rely on field goals. And I'm going to rely on a guy who I think is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day, and that's Justin Tucker, who got up in the post-game press conference and delivered one of the best lines ever. He was like, you guys smell that? It smells like up dog in here.
Yeah.
What's up, dog? One of the best lines ever, Justin Tucker. How about this? He has made 91% of his kicks, and here's the stat that I love. 91% when Jim Harbaugh puts him out there in these crazy situations, 8 field goal attempts of 61 yards and higher, and he's still 91%.
It's crazy.
The guy's unbelievable. I think because of everything you said, Nick, you proved my point. The Ravens offense isn't that good. I want field goals over extra points. Yep. Justin, you are the jury. You are the decider. You've been with Nick a lot recently. You've heard the Super Bowl picks. You've heard the MVPs. This is not a generational gap in movies. It's not a generational gap in music. This is football knowledge. It is predictions, and it is fantasy teams. He got lucky with Kelsey. I got lucky with Mahomes. There's kind of the meat of the sandwich in between.
I don't think so. I think Josh Allen's a better pick, but go on. All right.
Okay. All right. So you would have picked Josh Allen over Mahomes first.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Wait, you were going to pick Josh Allen even if you had first pick overall?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, interesting. You want to do first the NFL picks?
Yeah, go ahead. Give us your 2 cents. Yes.
I was going to say, this is tough because you may make a good pick on one team, but not another good pick on another. I don't know if
I love putting you on the spot, though. I love doing it.
No, it's fine. Let's do this. I'm going to give you my picks and see how they differ from y'all's. I have Chiefs versus 49ers. I just still think the Chiefs are the best team. And until anyone proves otherwise, I'm not going to pick against them.
I got you.
And I just like what the 49ers are doing. I really do think Brock Purdy is going to be a really good QB, really loaded team. I just don't have a lot of faith in anyone else in the NFL, and I refuse to pick the Cowboys, so I'm going 49ers. My MVP, this is maybe a little off the wall, but it's not. This QB was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and I still think he's a really good QB, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit
Mahomes all the time, too. He beats Mahomes all the time.
He's just really good. He's got a lot of talent around him. I see Joe Burrow having a really good year. The key is obviously he has to stay healthy. And my surprise pick, actually, Mike, as a Atlanta hater, as you said, I was surprised. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I like your pick for Calvin Ridley. I thought that was a good pick. I have no idea what
is Nugent doing?
I have no idea what the hell Nugent is doing with Matt Ryan. Why he would ever come back? He was horrible last year.
Horrible situation. Not a good spot.
I mean, when it does happen, if it does happen, I can't wait to see Nick gloat and how over the top he's going to gloat.
I won't even look.
I don't know where that pick came from. I'm not even sure if he is a Hall of Famer. I don't know. I guess he does have pretty good stats. Hopefully, if Eli gets in, then maybe you could argue Matt Ryan.
I'll take Matt Ryan over Eli Manning.
All day. Oh, my gosh. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, as a quarterback, not as your – I mean, his numbers, you get 2 MVPs in the Super Bowl, then you're in. But, yeah, as a quarterback of my team, all day. No question.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, but my surprise pick, I really think this player for the last couple of years has gotten a lot of flack. Some are wondering if his career's over. He had some amazing first couple, 3 years of his career, and then he got the injury bug, hasn't been able to be healthy since. I think Michael Thomas is actually going to have a really good year this year with the Saints. You got Derek Carr, who's new there. I think Michael Thomas could easily become his go-to receiver in tough situations, and I think Michael Thomas is going to be healthy. I like how you slipped that in, Mike.
Michael Thomas, man, you're like the state of Missouri. Show me, buddy. You got to show me. I'm tired of.
Hey, he showed us
Michael Thomas.
He showed us 3 years in a row. I honestly think. I know it's an off-the-wall pick, and look, if he gets injured, everyone's going to be like, see, I told you so. But this is a surprise pick, and I think it's a good surprise if he's healthy. So
all right.
Those are my picks. For fantasy, I mean, it's kind of hard to go off the rails on this. I mean, most pundits pick all the players you'll pick as tops. I picked, for my QB, I picked Patrick Mahomes. Same reason for the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I just think he's the best QB until anyone proves him otherwise. He always produces. Running back, Christian McCaffrey. I think last year he played relatively healthy. I think he's going to be good again this year. I'm not concerned about the injury bug like I used to. Look, I like your pick, Mike. I like him a lot. I'm just going to go with Christian McCaffrey. Wide receiver. This is interesting. Y'all picked Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill. I went off the wall. I'm going with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's a good one, though.
If I'm going to pick Joe Burrow to be the MVP, I got to go with Jamar Chase. He's a great wide receiver. I think they're going to continue to rack up points. Tight end, this is also a toss-up, Kelsey, Andrews. I am going to go with Kelsey. I'm a little concerned about the injury he just recently had. Apparently it's nothing big. You don't know, though, if it's going to come back and nag him in the season. Defense, I will refuse to pick Cowboys. I'm going to go 49ers, although I do like the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to be really good again this year.
Be good. The Eagles are tough, man.
And then kicker.
It drafts so well, too.
This is a slam dunk for kicker. You said, Nick, that you would pick Butker. even if you had the first pick overall?
I did have the first pick.
Okay. I couldn't remember. It was back and forth.
Tucker's the bomb. I think Tucker's obviously Hall of Famer. He's probably the best ever.
I got to go with Tucker. I like your pick, but I like Mike's reasoning better. And you also have probably one of the best kickers of all time. So I'm going to go with Justin.
It's all good.
So who wins?
Good picks over. I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong.
Who wins?
Oh my gosh, Mike! Just relax. Enjoy the journey, not the destination, man. We talking about Buffett in the beginning of the show. Listen, I love the now. Don't worry about tomorrow, tonight. I love the now. Don't worry about who wins.
Nick sits his
just enjoy
changes in attitudes, changes in attitudes.
You know what, Justin? You put a black shirt on Mike, and you get a wildly negative attitude, man.
Sure, yeah, this is like it's like the devil version of Mike over the shoulder.
Nick was like pushing injury on guys earlier in the podcast. You know, I'm all positive, right?
It's true.
No, man, you know, come on.
I'm not going to pick a winner because honestly, y'all pretty much picked either the first or second, and you can't go wrong. At this point, it's a crapshoot, no matter. So it's like. But I will say Nick does.
Right, I'm going to go watch Goonies, and I'll see you guys next week.
Nick loses points for picking the Cowboys, but still.
All right, let's go last word. Justin, what a coward. Go ahead, Nick. Last word.
All right, am I up?
Yeah.
Last word?
Yes.
All right. This makes me so angry that it's irrational, and I get it. But we're now entering the season of kids playing sports. So a lot of fall baseball, a lot of flag football, a lot of soccer, a lot of hockey, which means a lot of Facebook posts by parents and a lot of social media posts. And there's a rule in sports, and it's very simple, that whether you win or lose, you give the high score first. We won 4-3 or we lost 4-3. And I'm getting tired of people posting on social media, we had a great game, but we lost 2-4. Or, man, I hope that too bad the Florida Gators lost 17-24. It's unacceptable. Every time I see it, I get angrier and angrier and angrier. And it's just some of those things you got to tell people. So I'm asking anybody who's watching this to find someone in your life that does this and just correct them every single time. It's always the high score first. You either won 4-3 or you lost 4-3. You either won 17-13 or you lost 17-13. It's enough. It's ridiculous. I can't do it anymore. I have been blocking people on Facebook for that reason. And
are you a blocker on Facebook guy? Really?
Oh yeah, that kind of stuff. And not even for political or crazy things. I'm talking the small things. Saying that kind of stuff. Anybody who goes crazy over, my son had a fantastic game. I saw him the other day. My son had a fantastic game today in soccer. He had 7 assists. 7 assists. You know how old the kid is? 4. He's 4 years old. He had 7 assists in soccer. No, he didn't. No, he didn't have 7 assists. But either way. So yeah, block.
Wow.
I score first.
You know a trend that's gone away. I don't see this as much anymore. Maybe I'm just getting older. They don't have, because you don't have bumper stickers anymore, I guess. But remember the bumper stickers? My kid's an honor student. I don't see those anymore.
Yeah. Well, in Massachusetts, they had a different one. One in Massachusetts said, "My kid beat up your honor student." That was always a very popular bumper. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. That sounds like something you would create.
No, never. I would never do something like that.
No? Nice. All right. Okay. Well, that's very enlightening. You should have wore the black shirt for that. That was kind of out of that ilk a little bit. All right, I'm going to talk about college football. First off, college football, I'm glad you're back. But you gotta give us more that first weekend, man. The matchups, for the most part, not very good. I did enjoy the Clemson-Duke game. I did enjoy, Florida State just pounding LSU in the second half, pulling away in that one. But the highlight is Deion Sanders. And you like Deion Sanders. You find him irritating, too cocky. I got to give Deion Sanders this. I wouldn't agree with his approach in every part of his life. But you know what? In sports, it ain't bragging if you back it up. And Deion Sanders backed it up as a player. I mean, the high stepping, the guy ends up playing wide receiver, first athlete ever to be in a World Series and a Super Bowl. Deion backed it up, man. You don't like his style. You got to appreciate his game and appreciate the fact that he has the bravado and he backs it up. The same with Deion Sanders, the head coach. I appreciate the fact he went to Jackson State. He bided his time, learned to be a head coach, had extreme success. And if there is a template in this crazy college football age of a successful head coach, you got to manage the NIL. You got to keep your players happy. You got to recruit, and you got to kind of manage that transfer portal too. Colorado won one game a year ago. They already have equaled their win total by beating a team that made the national championship game. Deion, I don't like the fact that you're all reality and you went in the locker room the first day saying most of you guys aren't going to be here anymore. You could have handled that one-on-one. I don't agree with that. I don't like the way you handle your post-game press conferences, but it doesn't matter. Deion Sanders is winning, and he's backing it up just like he did as a player. And, it's going to be fun to watch because Deion Sanders is here, and I think he's here to stay for a while.
I agree, except he's not winning. He just won. That's the one thing. It's hard to get too excited over one, but I'll tell you, everything you said is correct. I mean, this guy is backing it up. I don't know if you saw how you feel about Rich Eisen, but he had one of the greatest tweets I've ever seen in my life. This was his tweet about Deion Sanders the morning after they won. It said, according to my research, Deion Sanders becomes the first coach in NCAA history to win his first game after taking over a one-win program, while also being a first-ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer, a career .533 hitter in the World Series, and a former host of Saturday Night Live. It's a perfect backup. He's the only one who's done that. That's a pretty good tweet.
Rich Eisen, though, I wish he'd be a little more objective as a journalist with Deion Sanders, though. I'm more of a Dan Patrick fan. Dan Patrick gives Deion Sanders praise, but also calls him out for not being great to the media, and he doesn't have to be. And also the way he handles his players. Rich Eisen worked with Deion Sanders for 10 years at the NFL Network.
Yeah.
Rich Eisen is a Deion Sanders homer. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Rich Eisen, you're a journalist. You got to be objective. You got to see Deion both ways. I don't know what Deion has to do for Rich Eisen to criticize him. I'm kind of turned off by that whole Rich Eisen man crush.
I'll tell you what, though, I think you're wrong. I think if you are, I think you might be right. If you are Deion Sanders, I kind of forget how you put it, but Deion, you have to be nice to the journalists. If you want to be a head coach and you're going to have a top 5 team and a team that's going to win 10, 11 games a year, you have to be good to the journalists and you have to be good to media, whether you like it or not. Because this is going to be fun for a while. I got my receipts and what are y'all saying right now over and over again? That might be cute to some people, but that gets old real quick. And so it's one thing to win one game when everyone thinks you're losing, but if everyone expects you to win and you keep winning, you got to find a way to be nice to journalists. It's this whole method and this whole kind of new strategy of not talking to some journalists and talking to others. It just doesn't float if you're going to be a major college football coach. You got to be able to say the right things at the right time.
Well, I actually disagree. I don't think you have to be nice to journalists. You have to be fair. To everyone. You have to be fair to players. And you don't call out journalists like Ed Werder, who, Deion, let me tell you something. He never wrote anything about you.
Yeah.
You're using Ed Werder to pick on ESPN and that platform. Yeah. Be fair to a journalist. Don't call him out for something he didn't do. Listen, Deion, as a member of the media, I don't care if you like me or not. Just be fair. If I ask you a question, answer it. Show me the respect I'm showing you. I don't care about friendship. I'm just trying to do my job. Listen, I'm not rooting for you. I'm not rooting against you. I'm just there to cover you, and that's all I ask, Deion.
I think that's fair. That's a good take. I agree.
So we'll see how it plays out. College football is back. The NFL is back. If Matt Ryan comes out of retirement, Nick Nugent will never let me hear the end of it. Justin, can we bring back a little Jimmy Buffett? Because, my goodness, there have been a lot of influential artists in American history, but there's only one Jimmy Buffett. I know Nick Nugent and I don't agree on everything, but we can agree on that. For Mr. Margaritaville, for Nick Nugent, for Justin Thomas, I'm merely Mike Neighbors. We'll see you next time.